And here come the Devils, led out by Daryl Duncan, the most experienced player on the field. This determined-looking north side. Guy Harvey, the last man out. At fullback is Noel Tierney. On one wing is Guy Harvey. In the centres, Brett Kelso with Mark Kellaway. On the other wing, Dan Cramery. 5/8 is Paul Macbeth. Halfback, Craig Groff. At lock forward, Ian McKenzie. Second row pair, Daryl Duncan and Dan Johnson. And the front row, Joe Topping, with Troy Evans at hooker and Jason Adams, the other front rower. Coach is Dave Brown. And Wynnum, this young side, led out by their skipper, Brad Nairn. And look at the quick step, the enthusiasm, charging out onto the field. They'd be full of nerves. At fullback is Justin Power. On one wing, Brad Morgan. Ricky Taylor and Dale Jensen, the centre pair. Dean Penrose on the other wing. Darren Whipps wearing number 2 at 5/8. Steve Platt at halfback. Ray Allen at lock forward. Brad Nairn and Brett Gant, the second rowers. Craig Greenhill, Scott Mathers and Steve Malt, the front row. And the coaches, Gary Seaton. Craig Groff, 24 years of age, the State League and Queensland residents representative, a key player in this North's outfit. The referee, the man in charge, Ian Irwin. The play ready to get underway. Sudden death. The loser will bow out of the race for the premiership. Play underway from the boot of Brett Gant, the second rower. North's in possession through Ian McKenzie. Back up to the 22, and in comes some heavy defence immediately. Good strong hits by Ray Allen amongst others. Danny Cramery runs the dummy half. From a few interesting selections by Dave Brown, he has left out players like Bob Campbell, who are very strong players.
My word, Bob Campbell can unload a football, but the big change he made is the fullback. He's put Noel Tierney at fullback, and Jeff Huxtable, who's been the form fullback for North all year, but apparently he has been in bad form and also didn't turn up for training last week. So funny things going on at North.
There's quite a few changes. Apparently Jeff Huxtable unable to make training because of work commitments, but in a semi-final week, Dave Brown wasn't going to tolerate that. He's promoted Joe Topping into the front row. Dan Johnson is in the second row with Bob Campbell dropped. And Troy Evans getting his chance back in the hooking spot. He was suspended for 4 weeks a month ago. Has been in reserve grade ever since, as Dave Brown made him pay his dues, but promoting him back into the starting side for this semi-final. And a good set of 6 there by Wynnum, finding touch.
Warren, that's a pretty tidy start by both sides. Obviously a little bit of nerves because we're not used to playing out of Lang Park now, but that's a good kick, that one from Platt, to find touch.
Ian Irwin laying down the law in this scrum, packing 25 metres out from the North's line. The 2 front rows hitting hard as Groff gets the pass away to Macbeth. He's tackled 30 metres out from the North's line. In the early games, all minor semi-finals in the Colts, Ipswich defeating Valleys 42-26. So Valleys bow out and in reserve grade. South defeating Wynnum 28-24. That's the end of Wynnum. And that Colts match went to extra time. Ricky Taylor dragged to ground, but the penalty goes to Wynnum. And a North player, Troy Evans, is going to be called out. Now Dave Brown will not be impressed with Evans for a lack of discipline here. That's the reason he has been in reserve grade. Let's have a look.
Yeah, well, Troy Evans went in with the swinging arm. Now, Dave Brown did say in the press this week that Troy Evans, he deserved his spot back in the side, but he said if he keeps giving away silly penalties, well, he'll replace him with Gary Wren.
There's Dave Brown, the former international himself. Ricky Taylor was hurt in that tackle. Troy Evans, the fiery hooker. Brett Gant, the 20-year-old panel beater, hits it well. It's a good-looking kick, just missing off the post, and Kelso comes away with it for North. Would have given them some confidence to pick up the early 2 points. McKenzie from dummy half. The North's in a bunch, close to their posts. Tierney in at fullback, taking over from Huxtable in the number 1 jersey. Evans claps his hands, wants a quick play the ball. Daryl Duncan slips the pass away to Topping, working off him. They go forward once more. It's Dan Johnson. And on they go once again. A good pass out from Adams. Has men out wide. Down the wing goes Cramery. Gets away from the tackle. He's got support on the inside. Troy Evans backs up. He pushes off the tackle. Morgan missed the last tackle. And Norths have scored the first try of this semi-final. Tremendous backing up by Troy Evans. And a great break down the right-hand wing by Danny Cramery. Good work inside him from the big Norths forwards. They really did power onto it. Johnson involved. He started it all. Dan Johnson slipped a beautiful pass away. It was backed up there by Jason Adams. He flung a two-hander over the top. On it went from Mark Kellaway to Cramery. That was beautiful work by North. That tackle missed by Steve Plath on the winger. And backing up inside was the hooker. He can travel. Brad Morgan diving in vain. Evans keeps his footing to stumble over the line. What a vital first try for North.
We'll put this try down to number 11 for North, Denny Johnson. He takes on Rick Taylor, but look at this beautiful pass. He gets out there to Jason Adams, who then gets it on to Mark Kellaway and gets on to Danny Cramery. He just pins the ear back here. But Steve Plath made an awful mess of that tackle there and missed him. And we just give Troy Evans a bit of a bait back there, but good on you, Troy. A great early try, and hasn't this little lad got a big heart?
There he is, Troy Evans, really showing great ability to back up down the centre of the field. Read the play beautifully. Guy Harvey to attempt the conversion. Has scored 106 points this season, makes no mistake. So Norths, with a fine start, they lead 6-0 after just 6 minutes of play.
Well, after suggesting that Norths were rather a doer side, far from it. This is great work by Johnson, one-handed offload. Then Topping does his job as well to offload nicely. I thought for a moment Kellaway might have passed too early, but he just gave Danny Cramery enough room to work down that side. Then the selective pass back on the inside. Evans backing up down the middle of the field like a good hooker should. And as Tommy said, certainly has redeemed the faith that Dave Brown showed in him.
Play underway and Topping brings it forward. Gets it just outside the North 22.
Joe Topping, he's a player who doesn't get too many raps, but you'll see him take that ball all day up for North, and also he'll do plenty of work in the defensive department. Evans
tries to steal a couple of metres, but the Wynnum defence holds. McKenzie charges onto the pass of Duncan. Good defence though, held on. Ricky Taylor working hard in defence, and he puts the pressure on the kick of Groff. Bouncing away from Justin Power. This will test the young Wynnum side. The early try will rattle them, but can they maintain composure? First time they've had the ball. They need to play a solid set of 6. Here's Brad Morgan. Malt, 10 metres short of the halfway. Good strong burst, though met by equally heavy defence. McKenzie and Kelso really knocked Steve Malt. He is shaken.
Well, that was a great tackle by Ian McKenzie there, and also Brett Kelso. And Steve Malt, he reminds me of that Dave Hoskins who plays for Manly. He's a workaholic, and but you'll see this Steve Malt, he'll be back into the fray.
Fullback Noel Tierney turns around and runs straight into Ray Allen. Cramery from dummy half, the darting winger. Steve Platt in behind the line for Wynnum, calling the defence into position. There's a chance of an overlap if they swing it wide. Kelso gets it wide. Kellaway onto Guy Harvey on the wing. The cover across well, though. Good tackle from Morgan. And North's carrying it 10 metres now inside Wynnum's territory. Played back by Adams. Evans gets it wide. Groff, Duncan standing wide. McKenzie steams into the hole. He's got support. Elected to hang on to the pass. Wasn't sure he could get a good one away. On the last tackle, the pass was knocked down by Plath, and it's 6 more tackles. They keep it going. On the Wynnum 22, plenty of tackles up their sleeve. Kelso has a go. Wynnum being pressed hard here. Danny Johnson is only 10 metres out. North with a deep back line. Wynnum well set also. Groff holds the pass up. On the fly is Macbeth, and Macbeth hits the deck.
Watch Darryl Duncan here. He's working into a play here.
Here he is. Duncan in centre field. Gets the pass away to Tierney. Knocking tacklers out of the road. They hang on to him grimly. Only a couple of metres out. from dummy half. North have scored. North darting out of dummy half, scoring the try. Brett Kelso caught the defence napping. Too much experience from Kelso. Wynnum had tackled desperately. They'd held out as North got the extra set of 6, so they had 12 tackles against them inside their 22. And finally, Kelso saw the little hole as they moved up off the line. There was good attack in the lead-up play here as Duncan fed it out to Noel Tierney. He really went close here as he knocked them out of his row, but the defence converged just in time. But from this play, the ball, Brett Kelso went into dummy half, and the defence just moved up that a little bit too quick. They threw the dummy, up they went. Platt trying to get up on Daryl Duncan, and over goes Kelso. Brett Kelso in his 6th year with North's 27 years of age, an Aspley junior. Fine try. Good piece of thinking. Guy Harvey, who has kicked 46 goals this season. Point scoring machine for the Devils. He knows they count in semi-finals. From a similar position to his first shot at goal, he lands his 2nd attempt, and North's in control early here. Just 10 minutes of play gone. They lead 12-0.
This has been very impressive. They've been prepared to throw the ball around. On this occasion, Wynnum-Manly moving up very quickly. Kelso spotted the gap and went over, took the try well.
Gann with the deep kick, and the Seagulls in all sorts of trouble early in this game.
Tommy, a feature of the game for mine so far has been the preparedness of the Devils. As we see Gary Seaton, he'd be a worried man, but the preparedness of the Devils to throw the ball around inside their own territory, and they're making good ground.
My word, the Devils forwards, they're making great yardage, as we can see here with Denny Johnson being put through a beautiful gap by Daryl Duncan.
And Johnson over the halfway, covered offence. Steve Platt just got him, but at 6s and 7, with 7s, the Wynnum defence as Groff throws the dummy, finds more yardage up the middle. Wynnum turn around once more and go backwards. North with a big back line. Macbeth, Duncan goes to the line himself, steams onto it, back inside to Macbeth. Good tackle though from Brad Nairn. The skipper trying to cut them down. 20 metres out. Groff calls for it, changes direction once more, puts the kick ahead. Power across did well to get to that one on the full. But Wynnum really in trouble here, Tom.
My word, they are, but they've just got to pick themselves up now. They're 12 points behind, but there's an awful long way to go. But they must defend, and they must put the ball carrier onto the ground.
So just inside their own 22-metre line, Craig Greenhill takes them on. North's forwards certainly outweighing the Wynnum 6. Gant with the kick, it's not very deep, and it's straight to Tierney. He comes back over the halfway line. Allen dives at him from a standing start, Ray Allen. So North spending most of the time in the Wynnum half.
Well, Noel Tierney, he's one player who he's showed his coach that he can handle the fullback position, and that was one of the worries with North I thought they had, but he's going very well.
Kelso works the play up the centre and finds Daryl Duncan. Right up the middle he went. 25 metres out from the Wynnum line. It's Topping going to the line, trying to bullock his way through Nairn. 5th tackle. It goes to Groff. Up goes the bomb. It hasn't gone all that deep. Coming down 8 metres out, and Wynnum come away with it. Well taken by Steve Platt in the second line. But the North pressure is relentless. They're not making any mistakes.
No, I think they've only dropped one football, and they've had all the possession. I think Wynnum are kicking too early on in their tackle count. They must starve North of possession.
The kicks haven't been all that effective so far. Allen striding out there, finding a bit of space as North's a little slow to move up to him on the 5th tackle. Gant gets more distance this time. Much better looking kick out towards the touchline and finds touch. Well, that not only turns North around, but that will give Wynnum a bit of heart.
Yeah, a great centre 6 here, and Steve Platt, he's got plenty of time. There was no chase and no pressure, and he's put pressure right back on the Devils.
"16 minutes of play gone. North's leading 12-0, scoring 2 early tries. Kelso, the man who scored one of them, brought to ground 25 metres out from his own goal post. Joe Topping breaks one tackle. And making ground all the time, North. Evans a dummy half. Allen was in the road. The referee says that Ray Allen should have got back, that he should have cleared away from the play the ball area. Penalty to North. Last week, Norths defeated Ipswich 21-12 to come into this semi-final on a winning note, but Redcliffe defeated Wynnum 19-6, and that may have knocked the confidence of Wynnum around. So they only have to look back 2 weeks to remember that they beat Norths. But this early start must have rattled their morale. Raw switching around, it looked as if he was working for a set play, which didn't quite come off. Duncan, one off the ruck now, wants it. Swings it wide. Macbeth. Kellaway stepping well. Causing trouble and still going. Only 25 metres out from the Wynnum line. They're only 20 metres out as Johnson will play it back. Duncan calling the shots. Mackenzie, but the pass went forward. Duncan just a little too cute that time as he dummied on the inside before going to the outside.
Yeah, that was a borderline. There wasn't much in this pass, but the referee, he was Johnny on the spot and pulled it up for a forward pass.
Wynnum scrum win. Power. The fullback in. Off the ground, 30 metres out from his own line. Nairn slips a beautiful ball away to Whips. Whips cuts into open space. That's a great piece of work by the 5'8". Darren Whips throws it back inside. Morgan's there, takes the pass and gets 6 more tackles. It was touched by a North player. A bit of risk, a bit of adventure. It worked for the Seagulls. Taylor goes forward and the crowd suddenly come alive as well. An adventurous football as North's defence was found wanting just wide of the ruck. Allen slips a pass back to Greenhill. He's only 12 metres out. Craig Greenhill bursting forward. Wynnum loom up either side of the play the ball. Goes out to Nairn, throwing the dummy, cut down. Back towards the post. Steve Platt holding it up for Gant, goes himself. Platt looking wide now. Power the fullback, standing on the wing. He's got Morgan outside him. He gives him the pass. And Norths have been completely fooled. Beautiful piece of football by Wynnum. Power turned them inside out, and North found that instead of marking up 1-on-1, they suddenly had 2-on-1, and Morgan was in open space. And I think we'll find that Guy Harvey is the man who fell for the trick as Platt threw a dummy to Gant, curved out wide, threw a long ball out to Power, who found himself on the wing. At this stage, they had them covered, but as Power straightened up and out on the wing, Brad Morgan was unopposed.
Good football by Wynnum here. But young Steve Platt, he's a good little thinker. He just mesmerises them here and passes a beautiful ball out to Justin Power. But Guy Harvey there should have stayed on his wing of Brad Morgan. And Brad Morgan said, nobody at home, I'll take the 4-pointer. Good football.
Gary Seaton will be much happier seeing his team put points on the board. It's 12-4 in favour of Norths. And there he is, Brad Morgan in his testimonial year. Gant attempts a conversion from out wide. It doesn't have the direction. So the score remains 12 points to 4, and we've had 19 minutes of play.
Well, wynnum-manly showing what they're best at, and that's attacking. Platt here, some semblance of an obstruction there as he lets one go, runs out the back then. North claimed an obstruction. Irwin played on, and then good work from Power, ran back into the ruck. That's what held North. And then Brad Morgan, who'd bobbed up on the other side of the field a little while ago, bobbed up for a try. Great effort.
Well, the game well and truly alive after that barnstorming start from North. I think there would have been a few fears in the Wynnum camp that this was going to be a shellacking, but they've come back well with a finely constructed try. They all started from their own side of halfway when Brad Nairn got the pass away, and it was Darren Whips who cut through into open space. A couple of tackles later, they scored the try.
David, Brad Morgan, he reminds me of the wingers we had at Newtown many years ago. He just roams around the paddock and, geez, he's a good footballer.
Well, he is, Tommy, and they're such a danger, aren't they? The fact that they can bob up anywhere makes it very difficult for an opposing defence, and he ran down this touchline a little while ago and then was still back on his own wing to finish off the job.
Signs of a good footballer.
Wynnum getting the penalty. North's up inside the 5 metres, out in the backs. The tap taken midway between the north quarter and halfway, and Steve Moore, who's been working hard, bounces out of a tackle. Platt gets it to Greenhill. Greenhill, not the biggest front rower, ever to pack into the front row. Nairn throwing the dummy, but there was no one really on his outside. They're only 15 metres out. North's defence now being tested. Platt goes wide. Whips. Taylor. Can't beat a good tackle. Cut down there by Macbeth. Now Gant finds space up the middle. Brett Gant gets a good pass away. Power is close. Power beats tackles and Power has scored. Oh, what a Power run. Justin Power, who laid on the first try, has scored the second. And he beat numerous tackles from just 10 metres out. This is a tremendous try from the fullback, hunting up, backing up his forwards. Brett Gant started it as he gets the pass here from Darren Whips, who made a little foray. Now Brett Gant stands in the tackle, leaps backwards to slip it to Power. How many men does he beat? Beats Topping, beats another man, and a third carried over the line for a tremendous Wynnum try.
Oh, shocking defence here by North. They just allowed Darren Whips there to stand in his tackle. But look at this beautiful ball. He gets the ball to Justin Power. Joe Topping, shocking effort there. And also Noel Tooney, the fullback. Didn't lay a hand on him. Good pressure by Wynnum and a good try.
Let's give credit too to the stepping of Power. He certainly made it hard for them to tackle him. Fine try by Justin Power, 21 years of age. Brett Gant laces and puts the ball down straight on, not around the corner style. He misses with that shot at goal. But Wynnum hitting back. It's North's 12, Wynnum 8. Plenty of points early in this game.
Wynnum-Manly within 4 tackles of their tap move. The ball up the middle by Whip, and then Gant does beautifully well here. Nice little step, gets his hands free, then just makes sure he selects his right runner. Power goes to the left, then cuts back to the right. Wrong foot for defensive Teeny. That's a good effort by Wynnum.
Guy Harvey gets play underway once more. Steve Platt takes it well. Platt has been everywhere. Ray Allen now back up towards the 22, still fighting in the tackle. Nairn running off his dummy half. Scott Mathers. Mathers in there again. And plenty of runners now coming for Wynnum as Greenhill makes 10 metres.
North's defence a little slow to move up. You can hear Daryl Duncan talking to his players. Move up, move up.
Steve Moult, no frills, straight and hard. Just short of halfway. Platt, dummying to Taylor, runs into trouble, gets it back to Taylor now. He's forced to take the tackle. On the 5th, Gant puts it up high, out towards Guy Harvey. No one wants it, and it bounces off the Wynnum player, and Kelso comes away with it. Poor football by both teams.
Well, one would think that a player from either side should go up and mark the football, and they just didn't have a go.
Penalty goes against Scott Mathers, interfering in the play the ball here, kicking before the ball was dropped. Both teams have scored 2 tries, but the goal kicking of Harvey has made the difference on the scoreboard. He's landed his 2 conversions. Gant has missed 2. In fact, Gant has missed 3 shots at goal. Not that they were right in front. Duncan has a go himself. Mort gets him by an arm. Rourke getting it wide through Macbeth. Kelso, Tierney in from fullback. Nice tackle. Brad Morgan coming off his wing to make the low diving tackle. Rourke to Topping. Beats a tackle. 18 metres out on the 5th tackle. It goes to Duncan. Up it goes. Pressure here on Power. It's coming down close to the post. This is a difficult one. They all fly for it. Anyone's ball. That was a fine bomb by Duncan and ruled a knock on by referee Irwin, and it'll come back to the 22 for a tap.
Yeah, Daryl Duncan puts this ball odd. It near reaches the clouds. Fair dinkum puts awful pressure under Justin Power, and I thought Wynnum were lucky to get away with that 25-yard tap.
And because the referee ruling that the last hand in there was a North's hand to knock it forward. Taylor brings it out, so the first 3 tackles It's been the backs, the two wingers, and Taylor, the centre, bringing it out. Now the forwards appear, and it's Gant flipping a nice ball away too. On it goes, steaming up the middle as Whips. Comes back now looking for support, floats it out. For his centre there, Jensen. Jensen with no one to beat except the winger, and Harvey made the tackle. In fact, it was Macbeth who made the tackle. Now Nairn throws it inside. Whips. Steadies things down. Looks for the best opportunity. Gant tries to flick it away to Allen. The referee says that was a deliberate forward pass. Well, I'm not too sure if that was a pretty tough call. At least as to whether it was a penalty rather than just a scrum. Fine attack from Wynnum.
Yes, Brett Gant takes the ball up. Yes, it was dead set a forward pass. It was forward by about a good foot. So I think it was a good decision by the referee. But what good attacking football by the Seagulls.
Campbell as North take the tap. Midway between their own quarter and halfway, the Devils. 9 metres short of halfway. Adams playing it back, and out it comes to Topping. They come back to this side of the field with Tierney coming in from fullback to Kelso, running onto the pass nicely. But again, Morgan comes off his wing to make a good low tackle. As long as he makes the tackle once he comes off his wing, it's okay. McKenzie now to Campbell, and they go away with Kellaway. Kellaway with no one to beat except the fullback, and he takes him on. He dummied to his winger, who was unmarked. He took the odds to it. He nearly made a monkey of himself, but he was able to beat the fullback, Cramery, waiting for the pass outside him, and Mark Kellaway finished it off. All started once again by the forwards. They worked it wide. Out it went from Duncan, pulling in the defence, Topping, a nice short pass to McKenzie and Campbell. So all of the forwards were involved, and here came the backs. Kellaway steaming onto the pass, sizing up the situation, looking for his winger, but then dummied rather than risk the pass. He certainly took the odds to it. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's worked for Mark Kellaway.
Well, I said before that Wynnum were short down their left-hand side, and they were short here again. But look at this pass from Ian McKenzie to Bob Campbell. I thought that was a fraction forward. But Mark Kellaway here, he takes a fullback on and scores a very good try. And when was the try scored? In danger time.
They celebrate as Campbell races in. Mark Kellaway, fine piece of work. He dummied his way past Justin Power. The 21-year-old labourer scores North's third try. Harvey has kicked 2 from 2. He could throw this one over. It's right in front of the posts. And there it goes. And with 5 minutes till half-time, North lead Wynnum by 18 points to 8.
Good try this one by North. Their two most experienced players, the first two to handle, drop, then out to Duncan. Quick hands by the forwards then. Campbell has come on fresh, and then Kellaway with all the room in the world to work. Just stands up fullback Power, brings it around, puts it under the sticks. Good try from the Devils.
Dave Brown again feeling fairly happy with his team's position, leading by 10 points. Cramery. He really is a darter, Danny Cramery.
Oh, he's a goer, isn't he?
Now penalty goes against Wynnum. These penalties are hurting them. In fact, we think back, and it was only a moment ago, it was the penalty for the forward pass by Gant, which gave North the opportunity, and in this one, interference in that play. The ball referees seen that have decided that Wynnum were at fault. Penalties now 5-2 for the Devils.
Bobby Campbell, he's having a good game since he's come on as a replacement. But the big thing what I like about him is really hitting that line.
Duncan. Darryl Duncan showing no signs that this hot winter's day is going to leave him short at the end of 80 minutes. McKenzie. One of the few times Ian McKenzie's actually taken it up, but he has been running onto passes wide of the ruck, creating havoc. Duncan again calling the shot, slips a pass away to Tierney, couldn't hang on to it, and Wynnum have got it. The referee will play a knock on both ways. And Penrose feels that maybe he could have been entitled to come away with that ball. Crowd on the hill enjoying themselves. Good crowd in the stands, in the Frankfurt stand as well. Minor semi-final, sudden death football. Scrum win against the feed goes to North.
That's good scrummaging there by North. The forwards put a bit of weight behind that, and they'll put the pressure right on here, and there's only a couple of minutes to go.
Crammery loses the ball backwards. The referee says it was knocked out by Wynnum Hands. 6 more tackles. Kelso to play it. Kellaway on the blind to Topping. Fine tackle by Allen, went right underneath him. Troy Evans from dummy half. Topping. McBeth. Out the wide and Kellaway again. Out of a tackle. Still going as Kellaway. He left Dale Jensen on the ground behind him. Stepped out of that tackle. Raw. North's relentless now. Duncan got the pass away to Macbeth, but he was upended by Morgan. Morgan in there amongst the forwards tackling. Rourke goes up the middle. Tierney can't take the pass. But the penalty has gone to Wynnum. Offside play by North. The player was in front of his teammate as the ball came out to him. From feed from Craig Rourke. Paul Macbeth gets it to Kellaway. And he beats the tackle. He's moving elusive. That time it was Powell, the fullback, up in the line. Couldn't quite get hold of Kellaway.
Well, that step now is working terrific now for Mark Kellaway. He's beating the first tackler all the time.
Tierney comes in from fullback. Back it goes to Kellaway. Kelso now. Wynnum are going to have to knock them over. They've got to lock this ball up. North's moving it around. They go up the blind side. Evans on the 5th tackle, 12 metres out. Duncan dummying, tried to put in a kick, but basically threw the ball on the ground. And Wynnum have got it from a changeover, but not much time to do anything with it inside their own quarter here. And I think Wynnum will be happy to play out time from this position on the field. You can hear the call from the players. Just take the tackle. As Penrose comes in from the wing, he tries a risky pass back to Mathers. They keep it going. Darren Whips cuts through. The kick ahead, in fact, it was Steve Platt. He was knocked over as he got the kick away. Referee Irwin says no. Play on with North. Guy Harvey runs into Dean Penrose. Steve Platt down injured on the halfway line. And I think there was some controversy over that decision. Fine break up the centre by Platt. That was adventure from Wynnum right on half-time. But North have scored 3 tries to 2. At half-time, they lead 18 points to 8. Let's take a look at the half-time stats. The scrums have gone 4-1 to North's, 1 going against the feed. The penalties 5-3 to the Devils. They've had plenty of ball, 84 tackles in possession to Wynnum 60. Errors, missed tackles, 10 of them by Wynnum as the ball moved around by North, but North making a few handling errors. Second half underway, and Wynnum down by 10 points with plenty of work to do in this second half as Allen brings it back. The shadows lengthening at Lang Park. Danny Johnson back on for North, spent some time in the blood bin in the first half, and Campbell came out to replace him.
The big thing here for North is they mustn't go to sleep. North tend to lose concentration 10 minutes into the second half. So they must just think all the time.
Plath trying the short kick through for Taylor. Brad Morgan comes up with it. Out now to Steve Plath. Plath carving his way up the middle. And David, what's the report from the dressing room?
Warren, Dave Brown was very vocal. He thought that after they got that commanding lead of 12 points to 0, they went to sleep. And he really had plenty to say about playing out the full 40 minutes. On the other hand, Gary Seaton, quite subdued, spoke to them quite seriously about quicker play the balls he wanted. And he also was very concerned about Daryl Duncan standing in tackle. So both coaches think they're in with a good chance in the second half.
Dean Penrose being called out here for a swinging arm, high swinging arm, unnecessary, right over the top here. Don't know what he really thought he was trying to do. North with the first penalty of the second half. Fine touch, 30 metres out. Top tacklers for North. Troy Evans, the hooker, leading the way from Joe Topping and Danny Johnson. And for Wynnum, 17 tackles by Steve North, 14 by Scott Mathers and Ray Allen. All the forwards working hard in defence.
Well, that's good work by Troy Evans, 14 tackles. One thing about Troy Evans, he loves playing in semi-finals. You watch him out here, he'll be dangerous every time he touches that football.
Groff gets it out to Macbeth, to Kelso. They work the move. Tierney in from full back, and Harvey was flying down the wing, couldn't get the pass. Topping, only 10 metres out. Last tackle. North up in a flat line. Will it be the bomb? No. Groff runs it to the line with Duncan. He throws a desperate pass out over the top. Adams tries to flick it away. Last tackle, and North trying to keep the ball alive, but Wynnum will get the handover.
Well, good work here by North. Craig Groff looked to kick, but he ran the football, and there was nothing wrong with that. A try could have eventuated.
Wittenberg has taken the ball up hard since coming onto the field. His size makes him that much more useful in this small Wynnum pack, because he can pull a couple of defenders in and has the strength to unload. Gant. Taylor. Taylor captained Wynnum at one stage of the season. Brad Nairn, the current captain. On the last tackle, it goes to Platt. Kicks in behind Cramery. Back goes Tierney. Close to his line. Useful kick, that by Wynnum. Driving North's back. And North's fairly slow to come back onside here. Cramery takes tackle number 2. Johnson. David, you must be impressed with Danny Johnson's effort from the head gash. He played strongly still.
Yes, he has, Warren. One of the surprising things, though, is that there is no doctor here at Lane Park today. They would love to have stitched him up at half-time, but normally it's the home team that looks after the doctor, but, of course, no home team today and an oversight by the league.
Well, we'll need to fix that up for the rest of the final series.
Warren, what you were saying there before, too, about North protecting the lead, I think that's exactly the way they're playing it, but they'd want to be careful, because if Wynnum do happen to get a try on and get within 6 points of North, I think Norths are going to find that they can't play slow-motion football.
Here's Brad Morgan out of dummy half. Well tackled by Adams. Adams with an arm guard. Has had problems with a broken arm. Malt plays it. Flat. To Nairn. Now Mathers. Pass back to no one. Grimley. Oh, Power runs onto the ball well. He straightened it up. They were going nowhere, standing still, but Power knew where to go. Dave Brown realises this game is by no means won and lost. Taylor tries to get his hands free. Good defence by North. Kelso and Taylor having a great battle out there. Gant puts a kick up. Here's pressure on Groff. They come flying through. Groff flew high and took it well. Craig Groff, a man who could have gone on to greater things in rugby league, and he still has the years to do it.
My word, he has. But the thing is with Craig Groff, he did have that serious knee problem a couple of years ago, but he's come back stronger than ever, and he's got plenty of good years left in him in football.
So North's in possession midway between their own quarter and halfway. Duncan decides to take it to the line. That's what we're saying. Daryl Duncan, nothing fancy that time. Just prepared to play steady football at this stage. High-ish tackle slides over the back, but the referee says it was fair enough, and that's the last tackle. Dennis Lewis on the sideline for Wynnum. As Taylor, Taylor held up a pass there for Jensen. He couldn't take it, and Tierney has it for Norths now. In fact, that replacement, number 17, is Brendan Brown. Originally Lewis named as a reserve, but now it'll be Brendan Brown.
He's come on for Justin Power, who has limped off the field, and Morgan's gone to full-back.
Kellaway pulls that pass in well, breaks the tackle. Kellaway still going. He steps off the left foot, down to Morgan at full-back. Another fine run by Mark Kellaway. He's having a great semi-final. Now the penalty goes to Wynnum, and the punches start to fly. Both teams have some fiery customers. Norths have had 3 players sent off this season. And So too Wynnum. They've got Mark Glidden on suspension at the present time, and here's a big right thrown by Brett Gant.
Well, Brett Gant there, he came in over the top in that tackle, but the offender must have been Mark Kellaway. What he did, we don't know because we didn't see it on the replay. But I tell you, it was a good right hand by Brett Gant.
Did you have a better view of that, David?
Yes, I did, Warren. It was a flying elbow by Kellaway. Foolish act, really, after a great run.
So here's Steve Malt, and I take my hat off to him. He has not stopped. Malt has made 28 tackles, far and away the highest. Troy Evans has made 26 for North. Malt has also taken it up all day long. Taylor. Up the middle goes Gant. He gets the pass away to Nen. Nen down to the fullback. He steps inside. He couldn't get the pass away. Backing him up was Brendan Brown, but there was a man in between. Nen goes himself. He was pushed over by a North player. Now, is that a sin bin offence? Yes, it is. 10 minutes in the bin, and it's Daryl Duncan. North's most valuable player sent to the bin for 10 minutes. We've only got 15 minutes remaining in the match. North's leading 18 points to 8, and this throws it wide open. The penalty going to Wynnum.
Yes, Daryl Duncan goes in there, and he did impair Brad Nairn there, and 10 minutes in the sin bin. Good decision.
Duncan never onside.
Never onside, Daryl Duncan. But he could see that Norths were in trouble. And now, if he didn't do that, Norths might have scored.
And Wynnum going for the try. They didn't take the shot at goal. Out it comes. Grimley thrust off one. And driven backwards. Penalties now dead even, 9 apiece. Evening up. Taylor really trying hard for his side now, getting involved in everything. He's not waiting out in the centres. He's in around the ruck. Platt. Nairn. North's defence holds well. Grimley. Greenhill. Again, the defence is good.
They've lost yardage there, Wynnum. They were 10 metres out from the line. But you see Wittenberg take the ball up, and it's on the last tackle.
But he was met again by great defence, Topping and other player. And now Wynnum close in the corner and bundled over the sideline. Well, Wynnum throwing everything at them, but North's defence. Congratulations there to the Devils. Tremendous defence. As it came out to Brendan Brown on the wing, and he was driven over the side by Guy Harvey.
A great tackle there by Guy Harvey. He's had a good, solid game today. His defence has been immaculate and has had a real good game.
So now it's North's in possession, 10 metres out from their own post, with 12 men. Daryl Duncan will be over in the tunnel praying that his side can hold out. They lead by 10 points. Bob Campbell's back on the field for North. He's taken over from Joe Topping. Scrambling play by North, finding it hard to get out of their 22.
Yeah,
the fifth tackle.
Yeah, and Jason Adams, he looks very tired to me, and don't be surprised if Dave Brown replaces him very shortly.
The ball deflects. There's plenty of North players coming through. It came off a Wynnum hand, but the referee says that it wasn't played at. And so that is a handover on the last tackle. Gant will play it for Wynnum, who are also looking a little tired. 9 metres inside North's half. Out it goes to Wittenberg. Now it's Gant, or I should say Malt. Platt getting the pass away to Gant. Back to Taylor. On it goes to Jensen. Can't beat the tackle of Kellaway.
Top defence here by North. All their backs, they're not missing tackles, and all their forwards, they're all doing their share of work.
It's frustrating Wynnum. Now it's Greenhill. He gets out of a tackle. Greenhill looking for support, tried to get his arms free, but again North came at him through Stevens and Kelso. Went on the blind side. The pass looked forward. It's play on. Platt with the kick. North scrambling across. And this North's defence, well, they have conceded a knock-on, so it'll be a scrum feed to Wynnum. But again, take my hat off to North's defence.
Great defence by North, and the whole 13 players, I take my hat off to them. Good defence.
There's Gary Seat and his team are down by 10 points. There's only 11 minutes to go in this knockout semi-final. David, what would you do if you were Wynnum?
I think they've got to keep the ball alive and throw it around, Warren. That's where they've looked their best, and against 12 men, that's certainly the way to do it. No panic, though. They really need to come up with the points here with some precision play.
Here's Nanny, slips a pass away, and going for the line is Jensen, and again the gap closes just in time. He plays it forward, and the penalty goes to North. To play the ball, he was marked, I think is the ruling, when he played the ball. Let's have a look at it. Jensen was so close to the line.
Yeah, I think that was silly football by Jensen there, because Wynnum were on the attack. They looked good, and there was no need for that.
Well, he played the ball forward when Mark picked it up in the ruck.
Well, I think that was why the referee gave the penalty to North.
And you would think that if Wynnum had held the ball for another 3 tackles, they're only 3 tackles through a set of 6, eventually the North's defence would have cracked. No matter how well you tackle, he can't keep going forever. Here's Bob Campbell now for the Devils.
Warren, I said at the start of the game that there was a big question mark on a number of the North's positions in the back line. But I can honestly say, and I congratulate Dave Brown, all those players have had blinders. Good on you, Dave Brown.
Yeah, he certainly picked the right team. Johnson. Or at least the team that's out there have done the job. And now the penalty has gone to Wynnum against an obstruction. I think it was Troy Evans taking the player out just off the ball.
Tough call, I thought, this one too, Warren, because it was a support player coming through. Let's have another look at it again. Standing in the tackle. This is the play here. Well, he's backing up there, and I think there's no reason you cannot be in an obstruction position if you're backing up.
Well, Ian Owen made the decision, and Wynnum have got the ball, and it's Taylor. Back inside he goes to Mathers, to Malt. A chance. It's Brown. Brown takes on Harvey. One-on-one, man-on-man. There's been some tremendous contests out there today. Winger on winger, centre on centre, and Wittenberg goes up the middle. He's only 4 metres out. They play it quickly with a back line. North have got the defence there again, and Grimley takes the tackle, trying to leap through the tackle to get his arms free. And 10 metres out. It's Platt. Back inside is Taylor. They're going up the middle against North. The defence, even with 12 men, seems to be driving them in. Gant goes wide this time. They've got numbers again. Brown gets it to Morgan. 3 men in cover defence. Morgan feeds it on the inside for the line go. Wynnum to try. This game is still alive. And Brett Gant has scored the try. Diving over as the pass came back on the inside. Finally, North caught short. They had plenty of cover defence, but the pass came back on the inside to keep it alive. North's 18, Wynnum 12 with 8 minutes remaining in the match. Hammering away here. Brett Gant, the man who eventually scored the try, got the pass wide through Greenhill, through Brown. On it went to Morgan. There were 3 or 4 North players coming in cover defence, but Morgan stayed alive, got it to Gant. He knew he was only 5 metres out, and he headed for that line.
Well, the continual pressure, North just had to break. They've been defending like champions, but Brett Gant, he's the man at the moment for Wynnum, and a good ball there to Brad Morgan, who puts it into Brett Gant and scores a good try. And I'll tell you what, we could have a great finish here.
Brett Gant, the man who scored the try, will attempt to convert it. Just 20 years of age, like so many of the Seagulls, around the age of 20 to 21. He's missed with all 3 shots at goal so far. This is not easy. It's 10 metres in from touch. It's going to go close, but not close enough. The deficit's still 6 points for the Seagulls. It's North's 18, Wynnum 12, 7 minutes to go.
The defence by North had been outstanding up until this point in time, but a good wide ball, that one by Gant, cut out a couple. Popped the ball on by Greenhill, over the top there by Brown. Morgan, who's playing at fullback at this stage, turns it back on the inside. Gant puts his head down, charges at the line. That's a good try.
Guy Harvey will kick it deep. And Wynnum will be very keen to get down the other end of the field, and Brendan Brown charges. He just put his head down and flew straight at them. Steve Malt now. A grandstand finish coming up. North still leading by 6 points. The converted try will draw the scores level and send us into extra time as Wittenberg twists out of a tackle. It's 3 tries apiece. Goal kicking is the difference. North led 12-0 with 2 early tries. At half-time, it was 18 points to 8 to North's as Wynnum came back at them. Now it's 18-12 and Mort with a kick put through by Platt. Morgan coming through and he steals the ball and Cramery had left it hoping it would go over the touchline, and in the end Danny Cramery's judgment proved just right. Morgan flying through on Platt's kick.
Oh yeah, top football this by Wynnum, because they're trying everything now, and Brad Morgan a little unlucky there, but a good decision by Danny Cramery to let the ball go.
Darryl Duncan watching that 10 minutes in the sin bin pass ever so slowly. Rourke puts it in this time and comes away with it. And Wynnum break quickly from the scrum, but not quick enough to get Danny Cramery. Oh, good tackle by Grimley. And here comes Darryl Duncan for the boos of the Wynnum supporters. Campbell. So Wynnum managed to score one try while Norths were down to 12 men. And Duncan.
Straight back in the fray is Darryl Duncan. I think he's had a good breather, and you'll see him really dominate play here in the last 5 minutes.
Norths with a back line. They go to it. Macbeth, Kelso, Kellaway. Caught them on the angle. The defence on the inside. Shoulder charged him. Fifth tackle. Rourke. Kicks straight to Platt, standing back. Morgan. Taken by Macbeth. He won't want to get near that touchline. Penrose runs into Groarke. Chased from behind by Macbeth. 30 metres out from their own line is Steve Moore. Taking it one out.
They must move the ball wide, Wynnum, because they're running out of time and they must attack.
Wittenberg goes to the line, one out again. Grimley. Taylor throws it back inside. He knows it's getting late in the tackle count. It's Gadd, it's Mathers now. A little shuffle and he beats a tackle. Takes play to North's half. Last tackle coming up. No, they've got 6 more. It was touched by a North's hand, and Wittenberg steams a further 10 metres. Must have been only a slight touch. Referee Irwin saw it. And Wynnum with another 6. And Nan throws the dummy inside. Duncan takes him to ground. 28 metres out. Wynnum within range now. Platt slips it away to Gant. Inside the 22. They're making ground all the time. Platt back inside to Gant. He's 10 metres out. He's 8 metres out. 5 metres out. Only 4 as he hits the deck. Great work by Platt and Gant. Men out wide for Wynnum. They've got to go to them. Platt tries a little kick. It hasn't been successful all day, and Stevens has got it for Norths. Well, surely he should have gone wide, even though Norths weren't all that short.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad decision there by Steve Platt. He hasn't kicked well all day with those little chips. He had men out wide, and all they had to do was pass the ball. Something might have eventuated. But now, all Norths will do now is take the ball up, play out the 5 tackles and kick the ball deep into Wynnum territory.
Only 2.5 minutes to go in the match as Kellaway comes away. We've got to give it to both sides. They've really given it everything in this match. Not for a moment have they stopped as Morgan brings it back. Kellaway with a diving one-arm tackle. Malt. Again, Steve Malt up to the halfway line. The Wynnum crowd roaring now. Desperate. They've had tremendous support, this Seagulls team this season from the home crowd. They're roaring, trying to lift them. Wittenberg. But Norths too. The crunching defence. Great pass, Wittenberg to Mathers. Goes over the top. But it went forward. Referee Owen just playing the advantage.
Tommy, you've got to admire this wynnum-manly side after being down 12 points to 0 against the experienced Northern Suburbs. They played very well to get back in the match.
My word, they have. And when one thinks, David, is that if Brett Gant kicks a few of those penalties, well, the scores could be even. But a great effort by the Wynnum players. You know, we just see the Wynnum team here get a penalty. Now, this will be definitely their last throw at the dice. But I tell you,
penalty, and Wynnum, well, they're not going to, they should go for the sideline and get closer. Mathers realises it now. So it's the last throw of the dice. Wynnum, who were the wooden spooners last year, trying to stay in the race for the 92 premiership, and it's Wittenberg. He takes on Darryl Duncan. They drive him towards the touchline. He's 9 metres out. 52 seconds to go. Wynnum down by 6 points. Grimley Had Taylor flying on the outside. He carves back to the blind side. Still alive. Brendan Brown for the line. And North's defence once more knocks him over the sideline. Great defence by the Devils. Brown charging for the line. Should have stayed in the field of play, but he had a try in his sights.
Oh, look at Bobby Campbell. Look, this is desperation stuff. Bobby Campbell, a replacement forward, knocks him into touch. But I'll tell you one player who's really impressed me today. I didn't like him being picked in the centres like he proved me run, and that's Mark Callaway. What a super game.
He's had a great game, Tommy, and Dave Brown will be happy the fact that his side has gone 40 minutes in this half. Desperation tackle there to save what could have been extra time.
So with 6 seconds remaining, it's going to be the Devils. But what a game of football we've seen. North, who won their last premiership in 1980, will go through to the preliminary final, full-time, and the Wynnum players wrap their arms around their heads in desperate anguish at not being able to go the distance with North. But the Devils, on goal kicking as it's turned out, a tremendous game of football. North have defeated Wynnum by 18 points to 12. A dramatic game of football, only one try in the second half, and goal kicking was the difference in the result. 3 tries apiece for North's tries to Evans, Kelso and Kellaway. Harvey kicking 3 from 3. For Wynnum, tries to Morgan, Power and Gant, but Gant missed with all 4 shots at goal. Plenty of fine performances from players on both teams, and Tommy had a hard time picking his Lang Park Trust man of the match, but it goes to North Centre, Mark Kellaway, and he's with David Wright.
Mark, you had a great game today, but you tell me it's the first time you played in the centres.
Yeah, first time. Oh, I was originally 5'8", but it's the first time in centres, and I don't mind out there.
North's moved the ball around. Was that part of the match plan?
Yep, sure was.
What about the try, the big dummy, and then you went for the goalpost?
Yeah, had to do something. Had a man outside, I thought I'd dummy and go myself.
North, you established a good 12-point lead, and then wynnum-manly made you work for it the rest of the way.
Yeah, our defence held in real well. So we'll just watch the next 2 teams battle it out, and we'll go from there.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
That was true semi-final football out there today, and it's on again next weekend. On Saturday, I hope you can join Arthur Beetson and I when we watch the Sydney competition countdown to the semi-final. We'll be there live at 3 o'clock with the match yet to be advised. And then on Saturday night, get along to Lang Park. It's the clash of the top 2 teams in the major semi-final, East versus West.
The Prince of Wales has been struck on the head.